Did y'all see the update to the Nintendo EULA? They are now saying that they can brick your system remotely if they sense you're using mods or suspect you are using mods. And the idea is to crack down on piracy, right? But it doesn't actually, because... Or it's not just limited to that. The fact that they say they have reason to suspect feels like it's one of those, they're gonna come after streamers because they don't like mods. Like, I don't know if y'all remember, I think about a year ago, there was a controversy because Nintendo, like, DMCA'd all of Point Crow's videos because he was using Breath of the Wild mods. And so, the fact that the wording specifically includes, like, or we have reason to suspect, and that it comes, not coincidentally, alongside a arbitration agreement clause, where now you can't sue Nintendo, you agree to arbitration instead, which, while that is, like, fairly standard, it's also fairly shitty. It feels to me, because there's some misinformation about it. There's people saying that, like, oh, this is how Nintendo's always been. They've always had the ability to remotely monitor and brick your console. Previously, the EULA said that they could basically disable your ability to access the internet, but not brick the console, not render it fully unfunctional. So that's, like, the big update, and that's the concerning part. Also, to be clear, because that's the other piece of big misinformation, it's not just the Switch 2 this applies to. The EULA has been updated. It also applies to the Switch 1. If they sense you using mods, on the Switch 1, or suspect that you are, they can remotely brick your console. Which is lovely. And the idea is, right, like, modified consoles can allow... Like, the logic is to stop piracy, because modified consoles can allow things like the free store, which was the Wii store where everything is $0, and that's also how emulation happens, is cracked consoles, using cracked consoles to basically dump a copy of the ROM from your cartridge and upload them online. And there's a vulnerability in the Day 1 Switches, which makes it incredibly easy for even people without a lot of hacking talent to do so. Which is why Nintendo this generation has really been fighting piracy, because so many of their new games, I don't know how much you keep up with, like, news stories around this, but a lot of Nintendo games just get leaked in full a week or two before release, because what'll happen is, you know, someone working at GameStop or Best Buy or whatever will get access to the cartridge, or just someone who pre-ordered, and the way that pre-orders work, they get sent out in the mail, and sometimes they arrive early, just because they get mailed early, right? Because they're supposed to arrive on day 1. So they'll get early access to the game, and they'll, dump it, and that's how they get leaked early, and Nintendo really doesn't like that. Understandably so, right? Like, not to fucking completely defend a corporation, but I think it's understandable why Nintendo is not too pleased with that situation. But the solution should not be well, we will just brick consoles of people who are modifying things at all in general. Because if Nintendo had proven themselves, like, trustworthy around that sort of stuff, I wouldn't be super concerned. But they haven't, right? Like, they've shown themselves to be really anti-consumer when it comes to mods, when it comes to YouTubing. They don't like people recording without using the terrible Switch recording function, which limits you to 30-second clips. So, like... seems pretty bad. I don't know. I'm displeased, shall we say, with Nintendo. As far as that is concerned. I can see the vision, but between this and the price hike, it's become pretty obvious whoever's calling the shots is out of touch with what the people want. Well, and like, obviously this isn't trying to meet what the people want, but it is at the very least like... it's a bad move.